Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Banks target 2 trillion naira fresh capital in Q2. Council poll, Adeleke breached oath of office, says APC. How states can boost tax revenue by Oyedele. And government raises compensation to payments on Lagos-Calabar Highway. Okay, which story are we taking?
The payments and the demolished form of compensation on the Lagos-Calabar Highway. So the federal government has assured owners of demolished properties on the right-of-way of the ongoing Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway that they will get additional compensation. The government gave the assurance through Works Minister Bede Obioha at a stakeholders meeting yesterday in Lagos. The attendees were asking when they would get their compensation and what complaints the government was getting from some contractors. So the minister said the highway project was steadily on course. And during the meeting, he resolved the conflicts involving the stakeholders, including the Lekki Free Trade Zone and Lagos Free Trade Zone, to enable contractors have unhindered access during the construction of the highway. So the minister announced the outcome of the meeting while he was addressing reporters, and he said the Lekki and Lagos Free Trade Zone requested for compensation on their properties that would be affected and that was affected during the construction. And he said that included additional flyovers, points for water discharge and solar lights, among others. So he also promised to address the requests of the stakeholders in short time, saying that they will be compensated for their affected properties. And there's a lot more in that story, and I think people should just read it.
I mean, there's a lot of work Umahi is doing. I mean, just down our street, I saw the start of the Lagos-Calabar right here. And even just from looking at it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is
going
huge.
to be great.
So it's going, so I'm really
there's a lot.
I just love the fact that now they're using better materials and everything for long-lasting roads. So that's, let's give them credit for that.
They should also do the compensation to be at value. You know, when a person property is valued 20 million and you're saying government values it at 10, you know, you're obviously you're dedicated. So they should do better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, has cancelled that states should target the wealthiest 10% of the Nigerian population to widen their tax nets. He decried that the focus of the state government so far has been on the poor majority for tax implementation instead of the high net worth Nigerians. It's saying that insisting that the issue of poor tax administration in the country lies with governments failing to collect taxes from high income earners, which the ongoing tax reform bill now seeks to address. He also said that with the issue of VAT, that small businesses, even though they collect the VAT, they rarely pay it back. That usually it's the high net worth companies that end up paying the VAT to the government. In supporting small businesses, he also said that the reform bills, which has proposed to raise the tax exemption threshold for businesses from 25 million to 50 million in annual turnover, that this move aims to ease the tax burden on small enterprises, allowing them to grow and contribute more substantially to the economy. Yes, basically what he's trying to say is that even if there's a tax-free year for the whole of the small businesses and the whole of Nigerians, that they can still make they still make their money, because if the government can only target the 10% of the high-earning companies, that the economy will still strive
and boom.
So that they should stop focusing on the poor people, so that they can grow, they can sustain themselves in this hard economy.
Strive. Okay.
Strive.
Yeah.
I have a story. Osun State. Okay. So the drama going on in Osun State. The APC had said that the governor had breached his oath of office by conducting illegal council poll that have sparked chaos in the state. The ruling party had urged the federal government to withhold the federation account allocation meant for 30 local governments until they're governed by reinstated elected officials. So if you recall, back in February 10, the Court of Appeal had a judgment reinstating the sacked chairman, and was based on that the Attorney General of Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, cautioned the Osun State government against going ahead with the planned local government election. Unfortunately, on Friday, another high court in Osun had granted an order for them to go ahead with the elections. So on Saturday, they held the elections, and the APC had condemned the poll, accused the government and the state chapter of threatening the peace in the state. And then there was the National Publicity Secretary of APC, Felix Moka, maintained that the statement in Abuja that what they did was illegal and unconstitutional. He dismissed the poll, said that the conducted polls was disgraceful, it was a sham, is illegal, and that was invalid and violently contemptuous of the subsisting judgment of the Court of Appeal. So how do two courts give conflicting?
So the existing, or how would I put it? The substantive local government chairmen who were immediately dispersed from office immediately the governor was won his election in 2022, and then he put in caretaker committee. So they went to court. They were in court all these years. And the appeal court finally reinstated them. But before they could get back to take over offices, he ran a new election, bringing in new local government chairmen. Exactly. Obviously, you are now disturbing the point process of the reward of the judgment itself by putting new people in office. There. That's what the APC should be arguing it in terms. Instead of saying, it's illegal, it's critical. Yes, he swore to uphold the Constitution. That's what every governor did. But we see every governor doing all sorts of things. So you give the history. That's how Nigerians would understand it better. This is what happened in 2022. If the person is suffered any grievance, you go to court. When you get redress, you come back, and the subject of the judgment itself should still be in office. But what he has done now is that he has created two existing offices. And of course, there will be clashes. So he has told the PDP, all 30 PDP new chairmen, not to go to those offices at the secretariat in the local government. Obviously, you are preempted that there will be clashes. Because these people are saying, I have not used my term. Yes, you disturbed my term, and court have now reinstated it. That term has to be spent. You give the history properly. They're just going back and forth.
Okay, well, let's move on now to the next person. You've already properly explained the story in the nation. Moving on now to the Punch. APC-PDP clash as El-Rufai woos opposition parties. Stepfather, friend arrested for impregnating 14-year-old in Lagos. IG squads man secretariat as Osun local government poll crisis rages on. Southwest governments lack power to stop Sharia panel, says Kwara judge. Lagos Assembly Tinubu engages Akonde, Oshoba, others on peace mission. Babangida justifies $12.4 billion Gulf oil windfall mismanagement despite Okigbo's report. Tax reform National Assembly engages caucus leaders as hearing begins. Excuse me. We have enough fuel to meet Nigeria's needs, says Dangote Refinery. Okay, let's take one story for the break.
Yeah, so Dangote Refinery, the president of the Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has revealed that the Dangote Petroleum Refinery currently has over 500 million liters of petrol in its reservoir. He said that the refinery now produces enough fuel for local consumption and exports. He spoke during a tour of the facility with Zambian Minister for Energy, Makozo Chikute, on Saturday, and the Zambian official had visited the refinery in Lekki, seeking collaboration with Dangote to help solve their country's energy security issue. So in his address during the tour, he said that the refinery currently has 600 billion worth of stock in their tank farm. He said the plant will reach its 650,000 barrels per day full production capacity by next month, and that Nigeria cannot consume up to 50% of its refined products. Wow. So he said we can satisfy more than the local needs of Nigeria as we speak, more than half a billion liter of petrol. We have more than 600 billion worth of stocks here today in refinery. We have more than enough. The refinery is producing enough refined products like gasoline, diesel, kerosene to meet 100% of Nigeria's requirements. And he also said that his facility is the only one that produces good quality, products that many other refineries across the world are already shutting down because of his own refinery. And we just need to do more in terms of his getting crude available to him so that he can keep producing more, that he has enough to satisfy Nigerians and people outside the country.
Okay, you go, Dangote. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.